Hello, Crawford Media Team. This is Mr. McGuire, and I just want to do a quick reminder on how to use the WeVideo product that we have, that everybody has a license for. Just real quick, you have Video 2, Video 1, and Audio 1 is the default timelines that you can use. So basically, what you're going to do is this. When you do an interview with someone, you can do two things. You can put them on Zoom and have the teacher send that Zoom to you. Or when you have them on the screen, you click the record button. Okay. And obviously you can choose screen and webcam. Okay. So just real quick, when you get information, when you get um, raw footage, it's better to have more than less. I think a lot of you all have done a really good job on these interviews, and I'm excited about it. But just real quick, I just wanted to show everyone, all the members of the team. These are the members that currently have the license for our media team. Okay. Now, this is what we're going to do with our media team. Um, as far as the projects, when I go into the CMS News broadcast, what I've noticed is a lot of different people have established some new projects. Okay, so let's go into this one, and this is the first one. So basically, what you do when you put your project into the timeline, if you will, you set it up, and this right here is just an example of what can be done uh, and all this other stuff. Okay. So, what I was going to show you is, let me go back to the projects and let me go to the CMS News broadcast. And if you notice right here, it's a collaborative project. That means everybody that is in the CMS media team can access these projects. Okay. So, let me kind of give you some heads up on how we can create this project together. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. Let me show you an example of how you can do just different things for the news broadcast. I'm going to show you from Canvas on the media class. There's like 9 things when you go into assignments. You go to news show number 1. And I know we're trying to pull it off today. Might not work, but we do want to try to meet the deadline. You have these 9 things. And then in the class, what I've done is I have created a folder within the media team. Okay. And inside each folder, for example, let's look at 6th grade that they worked on yesterday. So these are some of the jobs that students have signed up for the media team. Okay. And they're specific about what they're going to do, what type of interview, what kind of questions. What I know Ahana's going to do a segment on community news using a Navy Youth Leadership Program. And the reason she's going to do multiple segments is because that program is such a large program. We want to keep people coming back. Okay. So that being said, let's go back to our CMS folder. Now, this is our shared folder, and this really is where we need to put all the footage. So, for example, when you get done with a WeVideo project, or when you get done with an example, like for example, let's say you did an interview and you just got the footage. Okay, you go into the footage, and then here you go to import, and then you browse or select. Well, typically your footage is probably on Google Drive. So when you click your Google Drive, you find where that project is. So for example, let me see if I can find a video here. Let me go to media team. So let's say I'm going to use pictures, or let me go back one and go to media team and look at B-roll footage. Okay, so I've got all this B-roll footage that I can choose from, and it's not working for some reason. I don't know why. Let me go back and try it again. Let me go browse and select and see how that works. Oh, that's not what we want. We want to go Drive. We want to go to the Google Drive. We want to go to our video files. And so you have interviews, you have B-roll, you have music you can use. For some reason, that's not popping up. Now, if for whatever reason you run into an issue like that, that's okay. What I can do in this case is I can go in to the folder manually, because sometimes you're going to run into those problems, and I'm glad we've done that today. So there's some of this B-roll footage from the administrators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all this B-roll footage and I'm going to download it to my hard drive. Okay. And you can do the same thing, but typically if a teacher does a Zoom, you can have them send you that link. So what I'm going to do, I've got this B-roll footage. I'm going to go ahead and open it up, and it is in a folder right there. It's in my downloads. Now, the next step for me is I'm going to go back to our Wii video. Let's see, where's our Wii video? And I'm going to import. Okay, but before I do that, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to list a folder, and I'm going to call it AAA Media Team. Okay. Now, the reason I'm doing that typically is because sometimes when you do that, then it's easier to find at the top. But sometimes there's like AAA logos. Sometimes it's at the very bottom. So there it is, AAA Media Team. Okay. So I'm going to click Import, and then I'm going to go Browse and Select, and then I'm going to go to my downloads. Of course, I'm using a Mac at this point, and I'm going to find those videos. There's the B-roll footage. I'm going to hit Control A to select all and click Open. That's how you import files right there. So now I'm importing the files. Okay. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to list this as the first CMS news broadcast. Okay. Whenever that may be. Okay. Then I'm going to go through here and I'm going to delete everything on the timeline, because we have, like, for example, I've got one student going to do an intro. I've got another student doing different things, and we're going to compile that all together to work for a common cause. Okay. So I've got someone working on an introduction, so we're not going to need an introduction. All right. So how do we use B-roll? Let me just show you real quick. There's audio here that we don't want. So I'm going to put that of Mr. Jones doing that. I'm going to take this audio and I'm going to drop it all the way down. Okay. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is go into the selection, click on audio, and you can mute that audio, the whole thing. That's a quick way to do it as well. Okay. So now this is just B-roll footage. Okay. So when it's set up, let me go into play. Now you don't have any audio. Okay. And the cool thing about the B-roll footage is you can take this, and this is the animation where the video starts, and this is where the video ends. And the cool thing about that is with B-roll, you can make it to where with B-roll footage, you can like move the camera scene for your liking. Okay. And then right there, if I want to cut that, I can cut that clip. I can drop another one right here where Mr. Taylor's working. And then again, remember, don't forget, we don't want audio in these. So there's two ways to do it. You double click on it and mute the audio, click Save Changes. Now let's go into the selection tool, animation. This is where we're going to start. And let's finish where you can slightly see his screen where it says CMS. So that would be something right there. So let's go to, you want to do a transition. Let's always use crossfade. So there's Mr. Jones. There's the video moving. This is some B-roll, and it works out really, really well. Now, here's the cool thing too. With this, you can do all kinds of different things with it. And right now I can't do the narration. So like for example, if I click the narration button, we can narrate that and so on and so forth. So this is the intros. We got sound effects. I'm just going to keep these the same because they're listed. You can go in here and delete those, but here's what I want to do. Okay. you make sure before you finish, you hit the 3 lines and you click save. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to projects, and this is in the CMS News broadcast. This is the first CMS News broadcast. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and unlock that. This is the one that we're going to use. This is the Wii video file that we're going to use for the main project. So all of these things that we're doing right here, the 1 through 9, the welcomes and hellos, the motivational quotes. Now, this is just 6th grade. 7th grade is going to do the same thing. 8th grade is going to do the same thing. We're going to throw it all together and make something really cool. All right. So you all watch that, view that. I want everybody today in class to do 2 things. I want you to, number 1, I want you to play with what I just did on Wii Video. Okay. And if you want to, you don't have to, you can go to CMS News broadcast. So for example, go to projects. Let me go to projects and click on CMS News broadcast and click plus and just do a new edit. Okay. Before you start, put your name up here. Okay. Put your name and just say, as always, last name, first name. You know, you can just call it practice. Okay. And that's your practice. All right. So that is your practice, your practice alone. You go up here and you click save, and then you're good. Now it's always saved. So now if I want to go in here and go to projects and I click on that, I can see everybody's practice. Okay. See how right there it is? McGuire, Jeremy, CMS practice. Now, nobody mess with that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to open edit, and I'm going to make this, I'm going to call this AAA. And this is just a technique that I use sometimes. If I want something to be at the top, then I'll just put 3 A's in front of it. So when I click on it, usually it's at the top, but in this case, it's not. So it doesn't matter. But we know that we're not going to mess with that. So you need to make sure you all today have a practice. That's number 1. Number 2, you all need to take the footage that you got from your interviews and put it in the 6th, 7th, or 8th grade folders, whatever the case may be. Okay, I know some of you all put it in the Canvas, but you all need to put it in the separate folders. So if you're in 8th grade, you did an interview, take that file, okay, and put it in there. Now, here's something cool. This is an interview.
Hey, Crawford, it's Ishmael Najee, and I'm here with Coach Shapiro. How you doing?
That Ishmael did. Fantastic. He uploaded it in there. You all can go in there and watch it. Please do. But I need all the interviews in there. So maybe by the end of the day, because we're going to have a faculty meeting, we can get the first news broadcast kicked out. Okay. All right, guys. You all watch this, and I will talk to you in a bit.